We're not broken, we're just buried. Buried under a mountain of pressure. That pressure mounts over time. We lose sight of what's important. Our confidence ebbs away. We're drawn into battles, into conflict that we do not need to be a part of. We allow external dialogues to influence how we show up in the moment, how we operate at home. The influence that we have, the impact that we have, we know is impacted by so many things. But at times we're buried. At times it's too great a burden to manage. Where do we turn? Who do we talk to? Do we bottle it up? Do we hold on to it? Do we stop others from helping us? Do we push those that we love away? Your children don't need to see a father buried under the pressure of the challenges that he faces. They need to see you light on your feet. They need to see you on the front foot. They need to see you focused on things that matter to you, your targets, your goals. They need to see you galvanised, energised, filled with joy, laughter. But we can't do that under the mounting pressure of father. And if we're not prepared to share, if we're not prepared to talk it through, we expect old habits to see us through. We expect to be able to hold on for dear life. No matter what the challenge, we will see it through. And we will. It burns, it hurts, it feeds the fear, feeds the resilience. But that resilience will only take you so far if you're not looking after yourself mentally, physically. I needed to take a step back. I needed to take a break. Yes, in 2020, I did just that. But I was reflecting on it the other day in a conversation with another dad, and it became apparently clear that I'd had one opportunity to get back on track. And I was able to take that opportunity because it was COVID. The world had slowed down. I had a chance to reset. I didn't need to go into the office. The commute was suddenly gone. I had time to build a routine that suited me. But you see, once you're in that routine and it's working, what happens if something throws the balance off? If it kicks you out of your rhythm? Where do you turn? How do you reset? Reflection is so important to us, but we don't do enough of it. I adopted this routine, this strategy, and it worked for so long. It got us through so many different challenges. And I found happiness. I found laughter. I found joy. Our relationship was strong. My bond with my boys too. But when the world throws you that curveball, that thing that makes you reflect on the man that you are, the dad that you're becoming, the role that you play, where do you turn? Where do you get your advice from? What support do you need? Our boys are so different. They are so unique. Each personality bounces off one another. And at the moment they're in this space where they're both maturing. They're both finding their feet in life. But their personalities still clash. But I want to take you back. I want to take you back 6-7 months. Henry's world was turned upside down. He damaged his finger. To an adult, it wasn't a particularly difficult challenge to overcome. But he lost confidence. He lost sight of things that he loved, the things that he found joy in. He needed reassurance all the time. He needed a parent to wrap their arms around him. And at times, I was on point. At times, I gave him that emotional support that he needed. But what I found over time is it started to drain me of my resources, drain me of my energy. And in the darker days of winter, where there's no sunshine, where there's no light, where there's no brightness, where there's no opportunity to get out or as often as you'd like, you find yourself isolating. You stop talking. You stop focusing on the things that matter. You stop talking to the people that you love to talk to. You find yourself alone again in the darkness. Now, I had bounced back once. I understood how to bounce back. I understood what I needed to bounce back. And it was physical. I needed to stay on top of my routine. The exercise worked. Did the meditation work? To a point, yes, it allowed me to just decompress. Did the journaling work? Well, in the journaling that I use and have used for 5 years, it's very much focusing on the positive, focusing on the impact that you've had, focusing on how you want to step forward. But I found that it became surface level again. It wasn't deep enough. It didn't challenge my thought process, and it became part of my routine for no reason apart from the fact that I was just needing to do it. I to tick it off. And that's when the routine isn't working. That's when you need to change direction. That's when you need to reflect on where you are, reflect on what's going well and what's not, and take steps to change that course. Because at that point, for a good couple of months, I felt buried. We had so many different things going on at home, so many different challenges. And when you're in that conflict with your son, that moment that you're supposed to shape their life in the way that you respond, how you understand their emotions, how you understand how they embody that emotion and how they react under pressure. If you're not clear of sight, clear of mind, you can have a negative effect on them. You can destroy their confidence when your role is to build their confidence. You have to understand that your rhythm, your routine, that balance that you seek is the blueprint to follow. But if it stops working, you need to interrupt that cycle, interrupt that process that you follow and find something else that helps you tick, helps you get things off your chest, helps you dig a little deeper, find that motivation again, find that raw power that you have within. Because your children have to see you on form. They have to see the man that you are, the role model that stands in front of them, the warmth, the love, the passion, your ability to disconnect from the outside influences. Shows them how to do it. It helps them build that mental strength, that resilience that they need, that confidence. But when you're down, when you lose sight of the things that make you tick, when you are struggling to see the light, it's like being buried. You try to dig back to the surface, but the dirt just keeps falling. You have to find something that works for you. You have to find a routine that is adaptable. If it's too fixed and something throws you off course, do you fall? Do you lose sight of those things that matter? Do you find yourself responding in the wrong way? Do you find yourself responding from the back foot and not the front foot? If you're responding from that back foot stance, what do they see in the moment? How do you make them feel? How do you feel about yourself after that interaction, after that conflict, if there is conflict? You see, your routine, your balance that you seek sets that tone, that undertone for the success of their future. How you show up shapes how they will show up in the future. How you respond to criticism, setback. We've talked it through, but it's about trying to understand what you carry. And by reflecting on that, reflecting on the weight of it, you can give them what they need. You can disconnect, but you've got to push yourself. You've got to find the tools that allow you to take a step back, to reflect on the role that you play, reflect on the impact that you're having right now in the moment, and understand what's stopping you having the impact that you need to have. Because they want to see you on form. They need to see you on form. You need to simplify your approach so that you give them what they need, which is love, affection, passion, joy, that connection in the moment, free from frustration, free from anger, free from the pressure of the world outside. Now, I needed to get deeper. I needed to understand more than the surface level motivation. I needed to understand and experience a deeper connection with the things that made me tick. I needed to peel back the layers, so to speak, and give myself a better understanding of what held me back, a better understanding of my frustration, a better understanding of the anger that I carried. I needed to understand how I'd ended up where I was. Back in 2020, I needed to understand how I got there. What opportunities had I missed? What opportunities had I missed? What mistakes had I made? And what opportunities were there for growth? What opportunities were there for me to realise who I was, who I could become, but importantly, how I could show up as their dad and teach them how to find that fire, that motivation from within. I've always loved my boys. I love my wife. I love the world that we live in as a family of four. I love that family connection, that unit. If I could pick it up and put it anywhere, I would. I would just have us as a group because that makes me happy. But I also understand that I have this role to play. And I also understand that my role will diminish over time as they grow in confidence, as we begin to see them find their feet, as we begin to understand who they truly are. They will come to me for guidance if they believe that I have the answer. If they believe that I have their back. If they believe that I have something worthy to share that will help them navigate their future. The decisions that you make now, in that state of challenge, in that state of frustration, those decisions, your responses to those actions or inaction, your response in the moment sets the tone for how they adapt, how they react, and how they thrive. We have to learn to adapt. We have to respect the men that we are. We have to respect the role that we play. And we have to understand how much power we have over their small world. In these early days, it's our ability to separate the madness and the chaos from the presence. Our ability to focus in that moment. Our ability to give them us, the true version, that authentic view. The person they need in the moment. The person prepared to read that story. The person prepared to play in the garden. Whatever the games may be. Our ability to avoid distraction comes down to our ability to process that distraction and understand what it truly is and how it's going to influence how we show up in the moment and how we communicate. That's in your relationship, and that's in your relationship with your kids. The Modern Fatherhood Club is focused on helping you become the dad they need, but we also support you on that journey. We give you the tools. We talk about the challenges. We talk about the frustrations. We're prepared for the challenges. We're prepared for the chaos, the madness. We want you to embody the masculine role. We will not dilute it. We know the influence that you can have. We respect the man that you are. I personally respect what you've been through. I know my own challenges cost me time, cost me quality experiences, those that I will never get back. But I chase better experience. I chase those times where we're together. We have an opportunity to bond. I'll give my kids anything, just like you. What I truly want to give them is inner strength. What I want to see them do is adapt to the pressure. I want to see them become a better man than me. I want to also teach them how to overcome setback, how to learn from the challenges, how to learn from the setback. There will always be frustration. There will always be anger. There will always be raw emotion. It's how they use that emotion, how they process that emotion, because it's their fuel. We should not be switching it off. We should not be pushing it down, hide it. We should be encouraging them to use it to fuel them to move forward. I started the Modern Fatherhood Club because I needed to have something for me, something that allowed me to step outside my comfort zone, something that allowed me to operate in a zone that was uncomfortable. Making podcasts, writing, workshops, whatever it is, it's got to make me feel. It's got to put me outside that zone of comfort. It's got to push me to my limits. Not because it's a hustle, not because I need to provide more money, but because I want to show my children that you can have something that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy, something that gives you something else. It's not about external validation, it's about internal confidence, internal validation. I know I've made progress since 2020. The progress is a continuous journey. It's something that I must continually work on, because when I have a setback, is it the routine that gets me back on track, or do I have to adapt to that routine? Do I have to adapt to a new world, a new pressure? Yes, because in 2020 the world had stopped. The world had given me one shot to get back on track, gave me the chance to break down who I'd become. In a busy world with 2 kids and loads of things to manage, that's not so easy, which is why your routine has to be short, sharp and effective. It has to focus on your mental strength, your physical strength. It has to promote your values, the contribution. It has to give you direction. It has to help you be more passionate in every embrace. It has to teach them how to love themselves. So if you're feeling buried right now, if you're feeling like the pressure is growing, if you're feeling like you can't see a way out and you've got that routine down and it's working or it's worked before, have a look. Start to question yourself. Start to question what elements aren't working. Have you dug deep enough? Are you prepared to do the hard yards? Because there will be something that you can tweak that will empower you again, that will recharge the batteries and give you the energy you need to show up in the moment. Routine is important. Reflection on the routine, reflection on the impact of a routine will help you adapt to life's challenges, help you adapt to the chaos all around, the madness of managing kids. Your role is critical to their success. You are the biggest role model in their lives. Step up with passion. show up in the moment and learn to disconnect from the distraction. This is Friday Fuel. I'm Aidan. If you like what you hear, join the Modern Fatherhood Club, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to YouTube. If you've got questions or challenges to the way that I think, drop them in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear the challenges that you're facing. I respect the man you are. I respect everything that you do for your family. I'm here to support you on that journey. I'm here to take you from the comfort zone to that rare moment where it's uncomfortable. That moment is where you grow. That moment is where you show up and show them how it's done. This is Friday Fuel. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon.